Yeah, I mean, I thought San Francisco was a nut house, and it is, but New York City sounds even crazier than that. Put on this first clip. Now, we'll start out with a tweet because I think it's a good explanation. City Council calls for an investigation of Mayor Adams' plan to give illegals $10,000 debit cards. The $53 million contract would give Mobility Capital Finance, who the mayor touts as minority-owned, lots of fees for services. And Ryan James Grodowski, I think he's a conservative writer, he says Mayor Adams' reason for offering $53 million no-bid contract to a company to distribute the $10,000 debit cards to migrants is because it's a minority-owned business. So you almost have a twofer here, because on the one hand, you've got the craziest of just handing people, oh, you're new to town? Here's $10,000
We stole the money, but don't worry about it.
Exactly, go ahead. And then they Mayor Adams offered a no-bid contract to a company, and they're going to pocket $53 million for handing out cards. Oh, it's a minority-owned business. So you have the wokeness of the minority-owned business, and apparently they've never done anything like this before. I have a couple of clips about it. And you have the craziness of handing out this free money for everyone. And the refillable, like you say, if you run down a little bit, well, they'll top you back up.
Well, you know, I think this president we have likes the idea and the principle of democracy. Yeah. But this sounds more like tyrannical management. You know, they take the money from somebody and pass it off and buy the votes, and then they say, well, you don't have to repay it. It's a tyrant running thing. But he's not, Biden isn't the first one. It's the whole system that is like that.
Well, let's look a little bit into this story because it is crazy. This first article, now this is a reprint in the Manhattan Institute for New York Post article about it. Inside Mayor Adams' migrant debt card boondoggle. No bid bank gets $50 million. Border crossers up to $10,000 each. Go ahead, and here's some from the article. Takes money to make money, as the old saying goes. Apparently, it also takes money as much as $53 million to give money away. And go to the next one. So it was misreported that this is a $50 million project and that's the total cost. No, that's not true. The debit card program, if you read the actual contract, according to the article, has the potential to become an open-ended, multi-billion-dollar Bermuda Triangle of disappearing, untraceable cash used for any purpose. It will give migrants up to $10,000 each in taxpayer money, no ID check, no restrictions, and no fraud control. I'm going to dress up as an illegal and go up to New York this weekend to get my $10,000.
You know, if it's a handout, you know what it means, more and more, until the whole thing falls apart. But
it's also, I mean, I think a little corporate welfare too when you think about it, because they're going to be using these debit cards to buy things from the big agribusinesses. You know, they're going to be buying junk food, Coca-Cola. I don't know, maybe they'll be allowed to buy beer, you never know. But
they'll use that as an excuse. That's an additional benefit.
Yeah.
This is the expansion. This is the invisible hand working. You know?
Yeah. And then if things get nasty, what do? They'll probably punish all the rest of us by starting to monitor what these people buy. And then they'll get a system in place to monitor everything everyone buys. You know? You'll probably try to, no, sorry, Dr. Paul, you've had too many potato chips this month. Your card is rejected.